Most filmmakers end up working with the wrong brands because they don't focus on how that brand elevates their work and their identity. Now, the best way to ensure that both parties achieve their goals is to make sure that you follow a set criteria when you're choosing a brand to work with. Yes, money is important, but after I started following these steps, I landed jobs that match my creative direction, and I also got decently paid. So one of the first things I look at when I'm trying to work with a brand is, do they match my values and do they align with my creative direction at the moment? So I'm thinking about building my portfolio, and I want the brands I work with to match what I'm trying to build in my portfolio. So I don't want something that's out of the blue just because I want to get paid. Compromising your values is just like a conflict of interest. You're most likely going to do it for the wrong reasons, which might be money or just because you're desperate, and you never want to be in a desperate position as a filmmaker. It's difficult to believe in yourself as a filmmaker because you're looking at other people's work and you're comparing yourself with them. So I understand why you would feel desperate to like get work in just for the sake of it, just keep your life going. You have bills to pay, you have a life to live. So you're not going to you're not going to always stick to this like principle just because of living condition, and the world is hard. So I understand where you're coming from. Then in terms of creativity, your portfolio has to match a certain like aesthetic. You need to match a certain mood or vibe in your portfolio, or like at least a certain style. So potential clients, let's say, seeing is looking like, okay, this guy can do what we are looking for. So you also want to match your style with the kind of jobs you want to get. So another thing I look for, and one of the most important things I look for, is brands that allow me to have creative freedom. That is autonomy in terms of shaping the narrative or crafting the visuals or like exploring new ideas and like concepts that I have. But this is the best case scenario because most of the time brands have limits in terms of what they want their vision to look like. But in the best case scenario, you want to look for a brand that allows you autonomy because they believe so much in your work and your ideas, and like they believe in what you do. But this only comes with results. When you have proof of what your work can do for another brand, then you're able to like have that kind of leverage when you're going to negotiations with the next brand, or like they're able to see that potential in you and they're able to give you the opportunity to express yourself in that kind of way. The third concept is the brand's reputation or like their credibility. And this doesn't apply to every single filmmaker because if you're a beginner filmmaker, you're not going to be too selective in how the brand is perceived by the public because you may be the first person even like creating something for the brand. Do you get me? So it's not going to be at the top of your list. That's why I'm putting it at the like third position because it depends. It really depends, but it's very, very important because you don't want to be associated with the brand that has like a negative public image. Why I say it's important is because if you're associated with a brand that has like a strong public image or like is respected, has people have a high regard for this brand. It also reflects back on your own like profile as a filmmaker, and it helps you like reach a wider audience. Do you get me? Because more people are going to see the creative work. This next one is very, very, very important, and I think every single filmmaker or every single aspiring filmmaker should take this into consideration when you're choosing work, because you want to choose work that fits with your audience and your markets, because this helps to strengthen your brand and also your visibility in that space, in that that audience, that niche, if you say, because it's more impactful. The likelihood for a successful campaign or like success in your own work would depend on how your audience receive this creative or receive this work that you're showing to them. You get me? So I think filmmakers should prioritize brands that fit their audience. So if you make sports content, you're looking at activity, you're looking at biking brands, you're looking at like sports events, you're looking at sports festivals. You're going to want to like go to a random sports festival and film. I mean, just as an example, if you get what I'm saying. You're going to look at energy drinks. You're going to look at water brands. You're going to look at accessories, like fitness accessories, gyms. I mean, there's a wide like range of things you have to look at, but at the end of the day, they have to fit with your audience. Your content has to resonate with your audience. Obviously, the financial aspect is going to be very important for creative, but you also have to look at the production resources they give and the clarity of the expectations that they and what they expect from the clarity of those expectations. Those will fall under the partnership terms. Partnership, that word is very key because you want to have it has to be some kind of some kind of collaboration. It's not just, you're not just an employee. You want to have partnerships, not just employment. You don't just be an employee, because if you're an employee, that means the work is their own in the first place, and you're just coming to work for that day and leave. You have no rights over the decision making. You have no rights over the copyright, the rights to the work. So you need to negotiate clear, transparent terms that would state, okay, you have the right to post this on your social media or share with others or use it as like a reference for other brands or something, or putting it in your portfolio. You need to negotiate that in your terms. And then obviously you need to have some creative control. You need to have some creative control on what goes on, creative decisions are going to be made, how the final edit is going to look, how the visuals, like I mentioned before, the visuals, the narrative, everything. You need to have some kind of, so those are the things you're going to negotiate in your partnership terms. But the most important thing you need to know, as maybe something like an aspiring creative or filmmaker, or like you're just beginning per se, you need to have some kind of leverage to be able to negotiate these terms in the first place. You can only get favorable partnership terms if you have leverage. And leverage is, they've seen your work, they know your capability, they know your competence, they know how reliable you are, they know that your work has proven results before. Like, for example, what I did once was I shot a commercial for a school once for free. I did it for free. And so after that, from the work I did, which I added to my portfolio, they saw it and like, oh, I like this style, I like this results that it has given me on my social media, or like the responses from parents, or I did it for school. So they called me back to shoot more for them, and then they paid me. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. You have to do like work to be noticed by these brands. But in terms of shooting like a commercial video, like for a shoe or perfume or Nike or a brand, this kind of brand, you need to do something that matches their aesthetic. You need to have their themes. You need to make an independent project, like a Nike spec ad. That's what it's called. They're called spec ads, that represents Nike, has their themes, represents their values, everything. It basically just looks like a Nike ad, but you made it obviously with a way less budget. It could be 1 minute long, 2 minute long. It doesn't have to be a big project per se, but it has to be so aesthetically pleasing to Nike and represent their values and their general brand concept, that they see it and say, okay, you can do this kind of job for us. And then we're talking about the highest level. You can do this for the smallest brand. You can do this for a water brand. You can do it for anything. I mean, just shoot the commercial by yourself. Invest in yourself. Invest in your business. Because this is a business. It's not just, you're not just doing creative work for free. It's a business. You're going to get paid. Someone's going to pay you. You're going to deliver a service. You're going to provide value to the business. Okay, so I'm going to be posting another video in 2 days. Like, subscribe, and share this video. You know how the YouTube brand goes. It's very difficult, so you have to be very consistent. So build a personal brand as a filmmaker. That's one other advice I would have to give you. So, because it's very important as a filmmaker, your personal brand is going to get you a lot of jobs, get into a lot of doors. See you in the next video.